Hey, hello, dear members of the Soul Stories family. Today we will bring you a romantic, funny love story, so let's get started. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any meaningful stories. Chapter 1. The Penthouse Wake-Up Call. Sophia Hamilton isn't the kind of woman easily knocked down by anything. Not tense meetings, not sharp criticism from fashion critics, and certainly not a breakup. At 28, she's built a solid reputation in Manchester with her groundbreaking designs, having won the Outstanding Young Designer Award at the British Fashion Awards 2 years ago. Sharp, confident, and always in control, that's the Sophia everyone knows. But this morning, as she opens her eyes in an unfamiliar, luxurious room, all that confidence evaporates like mist over the Thames. Her head throbs, each pulse in her temples a reminder of last night's strong drinks. She frowns, trying to piece together what happened, but her memory is just fragmented blurs. A bar in Soho, loud music, flashing lights, and a few men snickering beside her. Sophia sits up abruptly, pulling the blanket to her chest on instinct, then panics when she realizes she's wearing nothing but an oversized white men's shirt. The high-quality cotton feels soft against her skin, but that doesn't lessen her shock. "God, Sophia, what did you do?" she mutters, her trembling hands pushing her hair back. She looks around, trying to get her bearings. The room is spacious and modern, with minimalist but expensive furnishings. Glossy black leather chairs, a clear glass table, and an abstract painting on the wall with bold blue streaks like ocean waves. Floor-to-ceiling windows reveal the Thames sparkling under the faint morning light, with Tower Bridge standing tall in the distance through a thin veil of fog. This isn't her small apartment in Camden, where she just moved after breaking up with Lucas, her ex who betrayed her after 4 years together. She'd chosen London to start over, to forget his lies, but now, where is she? Sophia climbs out of bed, tugging the shirt down to cover her legs, and steps barefoot onto the cold wooden floor. She searches for her clothes, flipping the blankets and pillows, but finds nothing except her favorite tight black dress crumpled in a nearby trash can, soaked and reeking. The stench of alcohol mixed with something worse hits her, making her grimace and cover her nose. Did I throw up on myself, she wonders, a wave of shame crashing over her like the tide. But a bigger, scarier question creeps into her mind. Who changed her into this shirt? And what happened last night? Thank you for following this heartfelt story of Soul Stories channel. Share your thoughts about the story in the comments below. If you believe that true love can withstand all trials and sometimes begins in the simplest of ways, don't forget to hit the like button and share this story with your friends. To never miss out on touching and meaningful stories, subscribe to our channel and help us spread messages of love and warmth to everyone. Let's cherish the beautiful moments of life and love together. She walks to the window, gazing down at the slow-moving Thames, trying to sort her memories. Last night was her first Friday in London. After a busy week settling into her new apartment and preparing for her job at Grayson & Company, she'd decided to unwind. The Velvet Room in Soho, a chic bar with plush red interiors and dim lighting, had been her pick. She remembers ordering a martini, then a second, then a third, as sadness over Lucas welled up. She's not one to drink heavily, but last night she just wanted to erase the look in his eyes when he admitted he'd slept with someone else. "I'm worth more than that," she'd mumbled to her glass. But after that, everything faded. She turns back to the bed, sitting down and cradling her head in her hands. The last image she recalls is a middle-aged man with slick back hair, grinning sleazily and putting a hand on her shoulder. She'd shoved him away. But then what? Someone stepped in, didn't they? A deep, cold voice echoes faintly in her hazy memory. "Take your hands off her." But she's not sure if it was real or just her imagination. Before she can dig deeper into her recollection, the door swings open. Sophia startles, yanking the blanket up to cover herself reflexively. A man steps in, tall, with sleek black hair combed back, icy blue eyes cutting through the room. He's dressed in a crisp black suit, holding a steaming coffee mug, and looks at her with a calm that's almost unnerving. His face is chiseled, handsome in a cold, commanding way. But that only heightens her panic. She yells, "Who are you? Where am I?" Her hands shake, accidentally knocking the bedside lamp off the table. It crashes to the floor with a loud smash, shattering into pieces. Sophia blushes, cursing herself inwardly. Why in front of this guy? She pulls the blanket tighter, trying to salvage some dignity, though her current state offers little room for it. The man smirks, not quite a smile, more like a mix of mockery and curiosity. His voice is deep and cold. I'm Oliver Grayson, and this is my place. You're heavy, you know. He steps forward, setting the coffee mug on the glass table, his blue eyes scanning her as if she's an item on display. He's unhurried, unruffled, exuding a confidence that makes Sophia both annoyed and embarrassed. She blinks, processing his words. Your place? Wait, did anything happen between us last night? Her voice rises with panic, fingers clutching the shirt's hem. A flood of worst-case scenarios races through her mind. She got drunk, he took advantage, and now she's in an irredeemable mess. But she's Sophia Hamilton. She doesn't let herself fall into situations like this, does she? She's always in control, from the stitches on her designs to every detail of her life. Oliver tilts his head, watching her with rare amusement. You threw up all over me, he says, his tone flat like he's stating an obvious fact. And on your clothes too. I had to change you because I couldn't let you lie in that mess. He pauses, smirking again. But don't worry, I'm not the type to take advantage of a drunk woman. He picks up a shard of the broken lamp, placing it back on the table as if it's no big deal. Sophia's face burns, humiliation hitting her like a splash of boiling water. You changed me? She stammers, picturing him stripping her down while she was out cold. She wants to disappear. You mean you saw everything? She tugs the shirt lower, though she knows it's pointless. He shrugs, his expression still blank. I tried not to look too much, but honestly, you're heavier than I expected. Getting you onto the bed wasn't easy. He walks to a nearby sofa, sits down, crosses his legs, and keeps watching her like she's the morning's entertainment. Her jaw drops, torn between anger and mortification. Heavier than you expected? Did you just call me heavy? She jumps up, forgetting her attire, then quickly sits back down as the shirt rides up her thighs. I'm not heavy. I do yoga 3 times a week. I was just a little drunk. She waves her hands in defense, realizing the more she talks, the deeper she sinks into awkwardness. Sure, Oliver replies, a hint of sarcasm in his voice. But last night, you were more like a sack of drunk potatoes than a yoga practitioner. He sips his coffee, his blue eyes glinting with rare humor, though his face stays icy. Sophia takes a deep breath, forcing herself to calm down. She's a talented designer, not some bumbling character in a cheap comedy. She needs to know what happened to regain control. All right, Mr. Grayson, she says, striving for a professional tone despite her racing heart. Thank you for helping me. But can you tell me exactly what happened? I don't remember anything. Oliver sets his mug down, recounting the events with little enthusiasm. Last night, I was at the Velvet Room for a client meeting. I was sitting in the corner near the bar when I saw you. You were alone, obviously way past your limit, practically falling off your stool. Then a few guys started crowding around you, one with greasy hair, 2 others in cheap suits. They were laughing, trying to touch you, clearly up to no good. You shoved one away, but you were too drunk to fend for yourself. Sophia listens, a mix of gratitude and shame washing over her. She vaguely recalls the greasy-haired guy. His cheap cologne still lingers in her memory. And then? She asks, her voice softening. I stepped in, Oliver continues, his tone steady. I told them to get lost and they didn't argue. Maybe because I don't look very friendly. You were nearly passed out by then, mumbling something about not being worth it. I asked for your address, but you just laughed and said, London's so pretty. I had no choice but to bring you here. She winces, so embarrassed she wants to crawl under the floor. And then I threw up on you? She asks, already knowing the answer. He nods, smirking. Yep. My favorite Armani jacket, a bespoke piece from Milan. You puked on it before I could react. Then you collapsed on the sofa, and your dress didn't escape either. I had to change you, because leaving you in that mess would have been awful. She covers her face with both hands, groaning. I'm so sorry. I never drink like that. I just, I'd just gone through a breakup, and I wanted to forget. She looks up at him. Thank you for saving me. I don't know how to repay you. He shrugs. No need to repay me. I don't like seeing people get harassed, that's all. He stands, walks to a wardrobe in the corner, and pulls out an outfit, a sleek gray dress and a fur-lined coat from a high-end label. Here, he hands them to her. Put these on and go. I don't want uninvited guests staying too long. Sophia takes them, her hand slipping, and the coat falls to the floor. She bends down awkwardly to pick it up, hearing Oliver comment, "You really have a talent for dropping things. Side gig?" His tone isn't quite teasing, but it's enough to make her laugh, albeit stiffly. Very funny, she retorts, clinging to her last shred of pride. She heads to the bathroom, changing as fast as she can. The dress fits perfectly, like it was tailored for her, and the coat is so warm she wants to keep it forever. When she steps out, Oliver's standing by the window, gazing at the river. She clears her throat. Thanks again, Mr. Grayson. I'll get out of here. He turns, handing her a pristine white business card with Oliver Grayson in gold lettering. If you drop anything else, call me to pick it up, he says, smirking. The first time she sees him come close to a real smile. She takes it, nodding. I'll try not to bother you again. She leaves the penthouse, stepping into the elevator with a jumbled mind. A light drizzle falls outside, and London's chilly air fills her lungs as she exits. She hails a taxi, slides into the back seat, and stares at the card in her hand. Oliver Grayson, a name she won't easily forget, though she just wants to erase last night from her mind. Back at her Camden apartment, she flops onto the sofa, telling herself to let this go and focus on her new job at Grayson & Company, starting tomorrow. But as she closes her eyes, Oliver's image, those blue eyes, that smirk, that cold, deep voice, keeps resurfacing. She has no idea he's her boss and that her life is about to turn upside down in ways she can't imagine. Chapter 2. The Awkward Reunion. Sophia Hamilton stands in front of the mirror in her small Camden apartment, giving her appearance a final check. The navy dress hugs her slim figure, accentuating her graceful frame, paired with glossy black high heels and her light brown curls neatly tied up in a high ponytail. She's not the type to let herself look sloppy, especially not on her first day at Grayson & Company, one of London's most prestigious fashion conglomerates. After the chaos at Oliver Grayson's penthouse yesterday morning, Sophia has vowed to regain her composure. She's a talented designer, not some drunken girl dropping things in front of strangers. Today's a fresh start, she mutters, grabbing her purse and heading out the door. The tube takes her to central London, where the Grayson & Company building looms large amid the financial district, its gleaming glass panels reflecting the rare winter sunlight. She takes a deep breath, straightens her posture, and steps through the revolving glass doors with the confidence of someone who's won major industry awards. Inside, the open space is vast, with white walls adorned with art, and employees bustling about in stylish outfits. Sophia smiles. This is where she belongs. She's directed to the 15th floor, where the main meeting room is located. Today is the introduction for the new design team, and Sophia has prepared meticulously for her presentation. She's brought a bold idea, a collection blending classic British style with modern flair, targeting the booming international market. If it succeeds, it'll be her foothold to establish herself in London, leaving behind the pain of Lucas and her past in Manchester. She enters the meeting room, nodding to a few new colleagues, sets her laptop and stack of documents on the table, and takes her seat. The atmosphere is tense yet electric. Grayson & Co. is vying for a major contract with a luxury brand from Paris, and all eyes are on the design team. Sophia reviews her presentation slides, reminding herself to stay calm and perform at her best. Then the meeting room door opens. A man steps in, tall, with black hair swept back, his sharp blue eyes scanning the room. He's dressed in a deep gray suit, exuding an aura of authority and cool detachment. Sophia is adjusting her papers when she looks up and freezes. Oliver Grayson, the man who saved her from the bar, changed her clothes while she was drunk, and remarked that she was heavier than he thought. He's the CEO of Grayson & Company? She sits still, feeling like the floor has just dropped out from under her. No way, she thinks, struggling to keep her face neutral. Oliver strides to the head of the table, his deep voice resonating. Hello, everyone. I'm Oliver Grayson, and today I want to hear ideas from the new team. We've got a big contract to win. Let's get started. He sits, crossing his legs, his gaze briefly sweeping over Sophia and lingering for a second. A faint smirk flickers across his lips, as if he recognizes her, but has no intention of saying anything. Sophia swallows hard, her hand tightening around her pen. She tells herself to stay professional. This is work, not his penthouse. She can't let yesterday ruin her first impression with her boss, even if that boss is the one who saw her at her absolute worst. When it's her turn, she stands, clears her throat, and begins her presentation. Hello, everyone. I'm Sophia Hamilton, she says, her voice clear and confident. My idea is a collection called London Reborn, blending traditional materials like tweed with modern tailoring techniques in bold colors. It's a bridge between British heritage and the global market, targeting younger clients while retaining luxury appeal. She opens her slides detailing everything: sketches, color palettes, and marketing plans. The room falls silent, a few colleagues nodding in approval. She points to the screen, explaining how traditional plaid patterns can be used in unconventional evening gowns, then shifts to market analysis, highlighting rising trends in Asia and the US. Oliver listens, his hand propped under his chin, his blue eyes fixed on her. He shows no emotion, but inside a strange feeling stirs. Sophia isn't the drunk girl from last night. She's sharp, intelligent, and her idea is genuinely impressive. He's met plenty of talented designers, but few catch his attention this quickly. He tells himself it's just professional admiration, nothing more. Yet the way she speaks, the way she presents with confidence yet a touch of authenticity, keeps his gaze locked on her. When it's time for questions, Sophia picks up her pen to jot down feedback from colleagues. She turns to the whiteboard, about to write something, when Oliver speaks. Ms. Hamilton, do you think this collection could be completed in 3 months? His voice is icy, but his eyes hold a hint of curiosity. She turns back, replying confidently, Absolutely, Mr. Grayson. With the right team, I can speed up the timeline without compromising quality. I once finished a similar project in 2 months in Manchester, and the results exceeded expectations. But right then, her hand slips and the pen drops to the floor, rolling straight to Oliver's feet. The room goes quiet, a few soft chuckles breaking the silence. Sophia blushes, cursing herself inwardly. Why in front of him again? She bends to pick it up, but Oliver beats her to it. He leans down, retrieves the pen, and hands it back with that familiar smirk. You really have a knack for dropping things, he says, his voice low enough for only her to hear. She takes it, her hand trembling slightly, muttering, Thanks, before returning to the board, pretending nothing happened. She fields more questions, from fabric choices to pricing strategies. A colleague asks, What do you think about adding accessories to the collection? Sophia smiles. That's a great idea. I suggest minimalist jewelry made from recycled silver to emphasize sustainability. A big trend right now. Oliver nods slightly, jotting something in his notebook, but says nothing more. Sophia sits down, her heart pounding from both the pressure and his stare. After the meeting, Sophia's idea is chosen as the centerpiece for the Paris contract bid. She earns praise from colleagues and a rare nod from Oliver. Well done, Ms. Hamilton, he says before leaving, though his gaze lingers on her longer than usual. Sophia exhales, feeling a mix of pride and unease. She's proven herself, so why does she get flustered whenever Oliver's around? A week later, the good news arrives. Grayson and Company wins the contract, worth millions of pounds thanks to Sophia's London Reborn concept. She becomes the talk of the company, with colleagues crowding around to congratulate her. But during lunch, as she sits alone in the break room with a cup of tea, Oliver appears. He stands at the door, watching her for a moment, then walks over. You did better than I expected, he says, his voice still cool but with a rare warmth. Sophia looks up, smiling faintly. Thank you, Mr. Grayson. I was just doing my job. He smirks. And dropping your stuff too, right? Sophia laughs, feeling at ease with him for the first time. Maybe I should focus more when you're around, she replies, a touch of sarcasm in her tone. Oliver doesn't respond, just nods and walks away. But inside, a thought crosses his mind. She's not just talented. She's more intriguing than he realized. Sophia returns to the design room, resuming her sketches for the next project. She's determined to cement her place at Grayson and Company, refusing to let anyone, especially Oliver Grayson, distract her. But when she glances up and catches him standing on the upper floor, looking down through the glass at her, she can't stop her heart from skipping a beat. Chapter 3. The Unavoidable Encounters. Sophia Hamilton steps into the Grayson and Company office with a renewed determination. After the success of the Paris contract, she has solidified her place on the design team. But the shadow of Oliver Grayson, her cold boss and reluctant rescuer, still makes her uneasy. It's not because he's unprofessional or unpleasant, but because every time he's near, she turns into the clumsiest version of herself. Dropping a pen in the meeting room was bad enough. She doesn't want to repeat. Staying away from him is the best option, she tells herself, adjusting the stack of sketches in her hands and heading into the design room. The design room is Sophia's paradise. Tables strewn with fabrics, color swatches and drafts, the faint smell of glue and coffee lingering in the air, the steady hum of sewing machines. She sits at her desk, opens her laptop, and dives into the next project. A collection for London Fashion Week, the biggest event of the year for Grayson and Company. This is her chance to bring London Reborn to the runway for real, turning her idea into reality. She buries herself in work, sketching tweed coats with asymmetrical cuts, pairing them with deep red and emerald green hues, classic yet daring. But the piece doesn't last long. Late that morning, she hears a murmur from the group of colleagues near the door. Sophia looks up and her heart skips a beat as Oliver walks into the design room. He's wearing a white shirt with rolled-up sleeves, no jacket, looking more relaxed than usual, but still radiating that cool authority. He holds a stack of papers, his blue eyes sweeping the room before landing on her. Sophia quickly ducks her head, pretending to focus on her sketch, silently praying he won't come closer. Unfortunately for her, Oliver has other plans. He walks straight to her desk, his deep voice cutting through the air. "Ms. Hamilton, I need your advice on something." Sophia looks up, trying to keep her face calm. "Yes, Mr. Grayson. What is it?" She grips her pencil tightly, determined not to drop anything this time. "I've got an event tonight," he says, setting the papers on her desk. "I need an opinion on what to wear. You're a designer, right?" Sophia blinks, unsure if he's serious or teasing her. "You're the CEO of a fashion conglomerate," she replies, her tone tinged with doubt. "Can't you pick something yourself?" Oliver smirks. "I want input from the person who just won me the Paris contract. Are you free?" Sophia wants to say no, but his gaze leaves her no room to refuse. "Fine," she sighs, standing up and following him out of the design room. On the way, she keeps her distance, walking briskly to avoid any awkward moments. But when they reach his office upstairs, he opens a wardrobe, a collection of pricey suits and shirts, and turns to her. "What should I wear to a charity gala?" She steps forward, examining each piece, then picks a deep blue suit with a white shirt. "This," she says, handing it to him. "The blue complements your skin, and the cut is formal without being too stiff." Oliver nods, inspecting the suit. "You've got a good eye," he says, his voice carrying a hint of approval. Sophia smiles, but as she turns to grab her purse from the desk, her hand brushes against a stack of sketches he'd left there. The whole pile tumbles to the floor, scattering everywhere. She blushes, dropping to pick them up. "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to." Oliver bends down too, gathering a few sheets, and when they both look up, their faces are just inches apart. Sophia freezes, her heart pounding. Oliver stares at her, then lets out a small, rare laugh, enough to catch her off guard. "You really can't be near me without dropping something," he says, handing her the sketches. Sophia laughs too, feeling at ease with him for the first time. "Maybe I should stay farther away from you," she replies, her tone laced with sarcasm. But avoiding Oliver proves impossible. 2 days later, while Sophia is checking fabrics in the company's storage room, a large bouquet arrives, white roses and carnations, with a card that reads, "Thanks for the advice. OG." She reads it, muttering, "Is he kidding?" Colleagues nearby tease her. "Looks like the big boss has his eye on you, Sophia." She shakes her head, trying to play it cool, but inside she's flustered. Why does he keep popping up in her life like this? That weekend, Sophia is in a team meeting to plan for London Fashion Week when Oliver casually stops by. He stands at the door listening as she assigns tasks. We need the prototypes done in 2 weeks. I want each person to focus on one part: coats, dresses, accessories. This is our chance to make Grayson and Company stand out. Oliver nods, interjecting, I agree, but I want Ms. Hamilton to oversee everything. Sophia turns, surprised. Me? He shrugs. You did well with the Paris deal. I trust you. She nods, but as he steps closer to look at the sketches on the table, his shoulder brushes hers. Sophia flinches, her hand slips, and the entire stack of drawings falls to the floor again. The rustle of paper fills the air, and she wants to disappear. Oliver looks at her, smirking. Again? Sophia laughs awkwardly. I swear it's not on purpose. He bends down to help, and as they stand, he says, Maybe I should stand farther away to protect my paperwork. They both laugh, and for the first time, Sophia feels he's more than just a cold CEO. The London Fashion Week project kicks into high gear. Sophia leads the team with remarkable professionalism. She works late, checking every stitch, selecting fabrics, and tweaking designs to ensure perfection. She wants London Reborn to be more than beautiful. It should tell a story of renewal, of London, and of herself. Oliver stops by often, sometimes bringing coffee for the group, but his eyes linger on Sophia a little longer. He doesn't admit it, but her dedication and talent impress him. The night before the event, Sophia does a final check on the designs in the fitting room. Oliver appears, hands in his pockets, watching her adjust a dress on a mannequin. Don't you ever rest? He asks. Sophia turns. Not until it's done. What about you? Don't CEOs need sleep? He smirks. I want to see what you do with this opportunity. She smiles. Then you won't be disappointed. London Fashion Week takes place in a grand hall at Somerset House. The stage lights blaze, the audience packed, from Vogue editors to international investors. When the models step out in Sophia's designs, the room erupts. Tweed coats with asymmetrical cuts, stunning deep red gowns, and delicate silver accessories all blend into a perfect narrative. Thunderous applause greets Sophia as she takes her bow, spotting Oliver in the front row, nodding with a rare smile. After the show, Grayson and Company becomes the center of attention. Articles hail London Reborn as the season's highlight, and Sophia receives countless collaboration offers. But as she stands alone backstage, Oliver approaches. You did it, he says, his voice low but warm. Sophia smiles. We did it, Mr. Grayson. He smirks. Call me Oliver. And next time, don't drop your sketches when I'm around, okay? She laughs. No promises. They stand there amid the backstage buzz, a strange feeling creeping between them. Not friendship, not quite work, but something deeper, though neither is ready to admit it yet. Chapter 4. The Past Resurfaces. Sophia Hamilton sits in the Grayson and Company design room, her fingers brushing lightly over a pearl-colored silk fabric. The success of London Fashion Week still feels like a refreshing breeze in her mind, but the relentless pressure of the fashion industry gives her no time to rest. A new collection is already in the works, bigger, more ambitious, aimed at the rapidly growing Asian market. She calls it Eastern Echoes, blending the elegance of the East with London's sharp style. This is a chance for Grayson and Company to reach further, and Sophia knows she has to pour her heart into it. She looks up as a soft knock sounds at the door. Oliver Grayson steps in, holding a coffee cup, his sharp blue eyes cool, yet carrying a rare hint of warmth. He's wearing a fitted black shirt, no suit jacket, looking more relaxed than usual. I brought you coffee, he says, placing the cup on her desk. Sophia smiles, taking it. Thanks, Oliver. She's still not used to calling him by his first name, but after Fashion Week, the boundaries between them seem to have blurred a little. How's Eastern Echoes coming along? He asks, sitting in the chair across from her, his gaze drifting over the stack of sketches on the table. Sophia slides a draft toward him. I'm experimenting with modernized oud-eye, combining silk and hand-embroidered patterns. It'll be the collection's highlight. Oliver nods, examining the sketch with focus. I like this idea, he says, but you need to speed things up. We've got a meeting with Japanese partners in 3 weeks. Sophia nods. I'll make it happen. They continue discussing, from fabric choices to color coordination. Oliver isn't just a CEO, he has an incredible eye for aesthetics, and his suggestions always help Sophia refine her concepts. She's starting to see he's not as cold as he appears. He cares in a subtle but sincere way. As he stands to leave, he turns back. Don't work too late. You need rest. Sophia smiles lightly. You too, Oliver. But her peace doesn't last. 2 days later, while Sophia is having lunch at a cafe near the office, a familiar voice calls from behind. Sophia? She turns and her heart seems to stop. Lucas Carter, her ex-boyfriend, stands there. Blonde hair mussed, brown eyes full of regret. He's wearing a long coat, looking more rugged than the last time they met in Manchester, when he confessed to cheating on her with a coworker. Lucas? Sophia sets her fork down, her voice stiffening. What are you doing here? He steps forward, sitting across from her without asking. I came to London for work, he says, but I also wanted to see you. I regret it, Sophia. What I did was wrong. I want you back. Sophia blinks, unable to believe her ears. 4 years together, promises made, then betrayal. It all floods back like a wave. She once loved Lucas deeply, dreamed of a future with him, but now as he sits in front of her, she feels only a strange emptiness. Are you serious? She asks, her tone edged with sarcasm. After everything, you think I'd come back just because you say you're sorry? Lucas grabs her hand on the table, his eyes pleading. I know I don't deserve it, but you're the best thing that ever happened to me, and I was an idiot to lose you. Give me a chance, please. Sophia pulls her hand back, standing up. I need time to think. She leaves the cafe, her mind a mess, unsure what she's feeling, anger, heartache, or just confusion. Back at the office, Sophia tries to focus on work, but Lucas's face keeps surfacing. She wonders if she still has feelings for him, or if it's just lingering attachment from the past. Oliver notices something off when he stops by the design room later that day. You okay? He asks, standing by her desk. Sophia nods, but her hand trembles, dropping her pencil to the floor. Oliver picks it up, handing it back. Again? She forces a smile. I'm fine, really. But she's not fine. Lucas texts her nonstop in the days that follow, begging to meet, sending flowers, recounting old memories. Sophia's confused, unsure what to do. She doesn't want him back, but his reappearance makes her question her emotions and her feelings for Oliver. She and Oliver grow closer through work. He stays late with her often, checking fabric samples, discussing ideas, sometimes bringing late-night snacks. One evening, as they sit in the design room with pizza and coffee, Oliver asks, What do you like about this job? Sophia thinks, the freedom to create. You? He looks at her, making something memorable, like you're doing. The distance between them shrinks, not just through words but small actions. Oliver grows more proactive. One day he invites her to dinner to discuss the project. They go to a small restaurant in Covent Garden, soft yellow lights glowing on his face. What do you think about adding kimonos to the collection? He asks, sipping wine. Sophia nods. Good idea. I'll try pairing them with silk dresses. The conversation shifts from work to personal stories. He talks about his childhood in London. She shares her design dreams from youth. As they leave, he offers her his coat against the chill. Don't make me change your clothes again. She laughs. I'm not drunk this time. But when Lucas shows up at the company entrance a few days later, things get complicated. He stands there holding a huge bouquet, shouting, Sophia, I love you. I won't give up. Sophia freezes, colleagues whispering around her. Oliver, stepping out of the elevator, sees it all. He says nothing, just turns away. But a flicker of worry crosses his eyes that Sophia doesn't catch. From then on, Oliver changes. He's anxious, though he hides it. He visits the design room more, working with her on Eastern echoes with unprecedented focus. One night, as they stay late, he brings a box of sushi and sits beside her. You're overworking, he says, sliding the food over. Sophia smiles. So are you. He looks at her, his voice lowering. I don't want you burning out before the collection's done. It matters to both of us. They work together for 2 weeks, from selecting embroidered silk to testing kimonos on mannequins. Oliver doesn't just oversee, he rolls up his sleeves, helping her cut fabric, measure, even suggesting delicate cherry blossom motifs. Their synergy grows undeniable, and Sophia starts feeling something deeper, not just professional respect. But Lucas won't let go. He calls, shows up at the office, once waiting at the gate, where Oliver happens to see him. The night before the Eastern Echoes launch at a Grand Mayfair hall, Sophia and Oliver do a final check. The collection is flawless: shimmering silk owl dye, modern kimono dress hybrids, exquisite pearl accessories. Oliver stands beside her, eyeing the designs. You've done the impossible. Sophia smiles. We did it. He turns to her, his gaze serious. Sophia, He hesitates, trailing off as her phone rings. Lucas again. The launch is spectacular. Eastern Echoes takes the industry by storm, with articles calling it the year's most groundbreaking collection. Grayson and Company secures orders from Japan, Korea, and China, elevating the company to new heights. Sophia stands on stage, soaking in applause, but her heart feels heavy. Lucas is still out there somewhere, and Oliver, who just helped her achieve this miracle, seems distant. After the event, Oliver finds her backstage. Congratulations, he says, his voice slightly strained. Sophia looks at him. Thank you, Oliver. I couldn't have done it without you. He nods, then asks, that guy, who is he? Sophia sighs. My ex. He wants me back, but I haven't decided. Oliver falls silent, a flash of pain in his eyes, but he only says, you deserve the best. He walks away, leaving Sophia with an empty feeling. She stands there amid the dazzling lights, wondering what her heart truly wants, the past with Lucas or the present with Oliver. Breakuman. Chapter 5. The Rainy Confession. Sophia Hamilton stands backstage at the Eastern Echoes launch, clutching a cold glass of water, her gaze drifting absently over the thinning crowd. The applause from the audience still echoes faintly, but her mind isn't on that triumphant night. The collection, hand-embroidered silk, owl dye, modern kimono dress hybrids, and exquisite pearl accessories, has elevated Grayson & Co. to new heights. Yet now she feels only a strange void. Lucas Carter, her ex who reappeared like an uninvited gust of wind, and Oliver Grayson, the cold man who's increasingly claimed a corner of her heart, are spinning her between two opposing currents of emotion. After Oliver left backstage with his parting words, "You deserve the best," Sophia didn't see him for the rest of the evening. He vanished into the sea of guests, leaving her with a barrage of unanswered questions. What did he mean by asking about Lucas in that low, melancholic tone? Does he actually care, or was it just a CEO's courtesy to an employee? She returns to the design room at midnight, sitting alone amid silk fabrics and sketches, trying to find clarity in her tangled feelings. Lucas wants her back, but she's not sure she still loves him. Oliver is different. He never says it outright, but the way he stays by her side, bringing coffee in the dead of night or cutting fabric with her until dawn, stirs something deeper than work. She stands picking up a pencil to sketch a few lines on a new draft, a coat inspired by London rain, with asymmetrical cuts like falling drops. But her hand trembles, dropping the pencil to the floor. She picks it up, sighing, "I can't keep going like this." She needs to confront both Lucas and Oliver, even if it means shattering the fragile balance she's been clinging to. The next day, Sophia gets a text from Lucas. "Meet me at the cafe near the office at 6 p.m., please. I need to talk one last time." She stares at her phone, her finger hovering over the delete button, but ultimately agrees. She can't avoid him forever. She needs to close that chapter to move forward, though she's still unsure where that path leads. She puts on a long gray coat, grabs an umbrella, and steps out of Grayson and Company as a light drizzle begins. The cold, persistent London rain she's grown accustomed to after a few months here. The small cafe sits on a street corner, its yellow lights spilling onto the wet pavement. Lucas is already there, standing as she walks in. He's the same as she remembers: messy blonde hair, brown eyes brimming with regret, but rougher around the edges after months apart. "Thanks for coming," he says, his voice shaky. Sophia sits, keeping her distance, hands gripping the table's edge. "Go ahead, Lucas. This is the last time." He takes a deep breath, his hands clasped as if to steady himself. "I know I don't deserve you after what I did. But Sophia, you're the best thing that's ever happened to me. I was an idiot to lose you, and now I just want to make it right. I love you, and I want you back." He looks at her, his eyes pleading, as if all his hope hinges on her response. Sophia listens, but her heart no longer stirs like it once did. Words that used to melt her now sound like the rain outside the window, steady and distant. She recalls their days in Manchester, candlelit dinners, his promises to stay by her side forever. But then she remembers the day he confessed to cheating, how everything shattered like the wine glass he dropped in their final argument. "Lucas," she cuts in, her voice calm, "I loved you so much, but it's over. I can't go back." He grabs her hand on the table, squeezing tight. "Don't say that. I'll do anything to prove I've changed. Just give me a chance." Sophia pulls away, standing. "I'm sorry, Lucas. Goodbye." She turns and leaves without looking back, stepping into the street as the rain grows heavier. She opens her umbrella, but her mind is elsewhere. Telling Lucas she couldn't return crystallized a truth as clear as the streetlights piercing the downpour. She loves Oliver. Not Lucas, not the past, but the man who's built grand dreams with her, who makes her stumble in ways she can't control. But Oliver doesn't know that. By chance, as Sophia exits the cafe, he's driving by on his way to his penthouse. Through the fogged-up window, he sees her with Lucas. Lucas holding her hand, pleading. Sophia standing there as if weighing her choice. Oliver grips the steering wheel, misreading it as her choosing her ex. He floors the gas, speeding off through the rain, his chest heavy. He tells himself to keep his distance, to shield his heart from the growing feeling he's never acknowledged, even to himself. Sophia doesn't see Oliver for 3 days after that. He stops coming to the design room, skips meetings, and sends only curt, detached emails. "Ms. Hamilton, update me on Eastern Echo's progress when you can." She senses the shift but doesn't understand why. Colleagues notice too. One asks, "What's up with the boss?" He doesn't drop by anymore. Sophia forces a smile, her heart a tangled mess. On the 4th day, news arrives. Grayson and Company is nominated for Collection of the Year at the British Fashion Awards for Eastern Echoes. It's a huge opportunity, and Sophia knows she needs Oliver by her side to prepare. But more than that, she needs to clear things up with him. She can't let a misunderstanding, if that's what it is, ruin what they built. She leaves the office at 8 p.m. as heavy rain pours down. She grabs an umbrella, pulls up her coat's hood, and heads straight to Oliver's penthouse in Mayfair, where she once woke up in his shirt after that first drunken night. Rain lashes her face, the wind howling, and as she reaches the building, her hand slips. The umbrella drops, rolling away in the runoff. She doesn't retrieve it, just presses the buzzer, her breath rapid, hair plastered wet to her face. Oliver opens the door, wearing a gray tee and jeans, his hair damp from just coming in. He looks at her, his blue eyes flashing surprise. "Sophia? What are you doing out here in this rain?" She steps inside, rainwater dripping from her coat onto the polished wood floor. "I need to talk to you," she says, her voice firm despite her shivering. Oliver crosses his arms, his tone cold. "About what? You and your ex patched things up? I saw you with him at the cafe." Sophia gapes. "You saw me with Lucas? That's why you've been avoiding me?" He nods, his eyes darkening. "I didn't want to interfere. If you chose him, I respect that. Be happy." He turns away, but Sophia shouts, drowning out the roaring rain outside. "You're such an idiot. I didn't choose Lucas." She lunges forward, grabbing his arm to pull him back. But the wet floor betrays her. She slips, crashing into him, nearly knocking them both down. Oliver catches her, chuckling despite himself. "Are you trying to wreck my house?" Sophia blushes, righting herself but still holding his arm. "Listen to me first. I turned Lucas down. I met him to close that door, not reopen it." Oliver frowns. "Then why was he holding your hand? I saw it." She shakes her head, water flying everywhere. Because he wouldn't let go. But I don't love him anymore. He stands still, his breathing heavy. Sophia presses on, her voice trembling. I don't know when it started, but you mean more to me than anyone. I came here, dropped my umbrella, to tell you that. You don't get to misunderstand and avoid me like this. She grips his hand tighter, her eyes unwavering despite her wet hair sticking comically to her face. Oliver stares at her, then laughs. A big, easy laugh, the first she's ever heard from him. You look like a drenched cat and still act this fierce? He says, pulling her into his arms. I thought I'd lost you. Seeing you with him, I couldn't take it. Sophia leans into his chest, laughing through tears and rain. Then why didn't you ask me, you fool? He smirks. Because I was scared you'd say, yeah, I picked him. I'm not good at this stuff. He leans down, kissing her forehead, then softly presses his lips to hers. A gentle yet intense kiss, like they've both been waiting for this moment forever. Sophia kisses back, her arms wrapping around his neck, feeling his warmth against the cold rain. When they pull apart, Oliver looks at her. You're soaked. Need my shirt again? Sophia laughs loudly. Just this once, but don't call me heavy. He leads her inside, handing her a dry white shirt, and they sit by the fireplace, joking as if the misunderstanding never happened. After that night, Sophia and Oliver grow closer than ever. They prepare together for the British Fashion Awards, where Eastern Echoes is nominated. Sophia leads the team in refining the collection, adding new pieces, like the London raincoat she sketched that night, to wow the judges. Oliver backs her up, choosing fabrics and contacting sponsors. He drops the cold facade. He holds her hand during late nights, teasing, Don't drop the fabric, I can't pick up that much. The awards night unfolds at Royal Albert Hall. When Eastern Echoes by Grayson & Company is named Collection of the Year, the room explodes in applause. Sophia and Oliver step onto the stage, accepting the gold trophy. She looks at him, smiling. We did it again. He holds her hand under the lights. Because of you. After the ceremony, they stand on a balcony, gazing at London's glowing skyline. I'm not great with romantic word, Oliver says, meeting her eyes. But I love you, Sophia. She leans into his shoulder. I love you too, Oliver. They stand there knowing from now on they'll face everything together, not just in fashion, but in their hearts. Chapter 6. The Sweet Epilogue. Sophia Hamilton stands before the mirror in the new Grayson & Company design room, holding a piece of golden silk fabric. Early morning sunlight streams through the large glass window, illuminating the spacious area filled with tables covered in sketches, fabric samples, and colorful spools of thread. 6 months have passed since that fateful rainy night at Oliver Grayson's penthouse, and her life has transformed in ways she never imagined. They're no longer just colleagues or friends. They're a couple, a team, now building a fashion empire that surpasses her wildest initial dreams. After their triumph at the British Fashion Awards with Eastern Echoes, Grayson & Company has become a globally sought-after name. Orders flood in from Asia, Europe, and the US like a deluge, and Sophia and Oliver work tirelessly to meet expectations. They've opened a new headquarters in London, a modern building in Shoreditch, where Sophia has her own design room with windows overlooking the bustling streets. She's no longer the new designer from Manchester. She's the creative director of the conglomerate, standing shoulder to shoulder with Oliver, who remains CEO, but is now more open, more approachable, at least with her. Together they launch their next collection, Timeless Threads, inspired by love and sustainability. Sophia designs flowing silk dresses with hand-embroidered floral patterns, while Oliver suggests a line of accessories recycled from old metals, a bold idea lauded for its innovation. They work late into the night, selecting fabrics, testing samples, and sometimes arguing fiercely over colors or cuts. But it always ends with a handhold or a smile. You're so stubborn, Oliver once said when she insisted on emerald green for a coat. Sophia smirked, and you're too set in your ways, but that's why we fit. Beyond work, they spend time together in the simplest ways. Oliver takes her for walks along the Thames on weekends, recounting tales of his dreamy childhood amid grey London. Sophia brings him to cozy Camden cafes, sketching while he reads the paper beside her. Once he even tried sewing to help fix a dress sample, ruining the fabric entirely, making Sophia laugh until tears streamed down her face. "I'm a CEO, not a tailor," he protested, but his eyes sparkled seeing her joy. They don't rush to announce their relationship to the world. No need for splashy articles or grand declarations. But within Grayson and Company, everyone knows. Colleagues tease Sophia whenever Oliver drops by the design room with coffee or a small bouquet, and she just laughs. He's just doing a good deed. But her heart knows it's more. It's love, something she once thought she'd never find again after Lucas. One Sunday morning, Sophia wakes up in Oliver's Mayfair penthouse. Sunlight slips through the curtains, warming her face as she opens her eyes. She's lying in the large bed, the blanket slipping off her shoulder, and realizes she's wearing only an oversized white shirt. Oliver's, just like that first drunken night she arrived here. But this time, it's different. There's no panic, no shame, just a warm, complete feeling spreading through her. She sits up, tugging the shirt down to cover her legs, and glances around the room. The minimalist decor remains, but now bears her touches. A sketch she drew hangs on the wall, a green pillow she bought to make the room less stark, and the aroma of coffee wafting from the kitchen, where Oliver is surely making breakfast. She smiles, running a hand through her hair, and recalls their journey. From the night she threw up on him at the Soho bar, to dropping her pen in front of him at that first meeting, to late evenings cutting fabric, picking colors, and debating designs. She remembers the rainy night she ran here, dropping her umbrella, slipping into him, and how he laughed loudly, calling her a fierce wet cat. She recalls their first kiss in the rain, his warmth as he held her, and his "I love you" under Royal Albert Hall's lights. It plays like a slow-motion film, each scene sweet and unforgettable. The door opens, and Oliver walks in with a wooden tray, 2 coffee mugs and freshly baked croissants. He's in a gray tee and pants, hair slightly tousled, but his blue eyes shine as they meet hers. "You're awake," he says, setting the tray on the bedside table. "I thought you'd sleep till noon after working late last night." Sophia laughs, pulling the blanket to her chest. "I don't oversleep. I just like lying here a bit." He sits beside her, handing her a mug. "Wearing my shirt again? Planning to make it your uniform?" She smirks, sipping the coffee. "It's comfy. Besides, you didn't complain the first time I wore it." Oliver chuckles, his warm, low laugh filling the quiet room. "That time you were heavier than I expected. You're lighter now, probably thanks to my care." Sophia playfully punches his shoulder. "You dare call me heavy again? I do yoga, you know." He grabs her hand, pulling her close. "I know, and I like taking care of you, heavy or not." She leans into his chest, hearing his steady heartbeat, feeling a simple yet profound happiness. "You know," she says, her voice softening, "I never thought I'd find someone like you. After Lucas, I thought I'd be alone forever." Oliver kisses her hair. "Me too. But then you showed up, dropping things everywhere, and changed it all." They sit there savoring coffee and croissants, chatting about new plans for Grayson and Company. They want to open a Paris branch, launch a children's fashion line, maybe take a few days off to travel. Just the two of them. No work, no sketches. As sunlight pours through the big window, glinting off the Thames outside, Sophia looks at Oliver. "Thank you for picking me up, literally and figuratively." He smiles, setting his mug down, and pulls her into a long hug. "Thank you for staying." They lie back on the bed, holding each other, knowing that from now on, rain or shine, they'll always have each other, not just to build a fashion empire, but to write the next chapters of their love story.